Hello, and welcome to the Complete Podcast Network. I'm Anthony Wilson, recording from Los Angeles, California. On tonight's episode, the Lakers fall to 0-2 in the preseason, Mac Jones continues to outplay Brock Purdy, and P. Diddy gets 4 years in prison for a non-crime. Let's get to it. So tonight in San Francisco, the Lakers lost 111 to 103 to the Golden State Warriors. This comes 2 nights after losing 103 to 81 to the Phoenix Suns. There was no LeBron or Luka in either game for the Lakers. And there was no Austin Reeves tonight. He played in the first game and had 20 points. He looked to be in mid-season form. Um, Much talk was made of Bronny James's performance in the first game when he went 1 of 12 from the field and 1 of 8 from three. Tonight he was 2 for 6 from the field and 1 of 3 from three. So in total, in 2 games, he's 3 of 18 from the field and 2 of 11 from three. He played 24 minutes in the first game and 23 minutes in the second game. So that's 47 minutes. And obviously that's not good. But one thing I'll say is that at least he's being aggressive. When he even in college, I think even in high school, you know. But I mean, it's hard to get stat lines on him in high school, and of course he played for a powerhouse program at Sierra Canyon. But then in college, and I remember, I think Shane Murray was saying, well, yeah, because I said, well, he's not aggressive. Even at USC, I didn't see him being aggressive out there. I think it was Shane Murray who said, he's playing with other, high school All-Americans. He played with Isaiah Collier, guys like that. So he's being more passive. And I just thought, I don't know. I just thought he should have been more aggressive and more assertive. And he was playing like someone who, I don't know, didn't really have a love for the game, I guess. And then he obviously gets drafted. And last year, he didn't play much, for the actual team. But he got some run first of all, he played summer league, right? And he got some run in the G League where he played well. And then he came back for summer league this summer. So at this point, he's had 2 summer leagues. He had a whole season with the big league club, and he got to get some real run in with the G League team. So it's good to see that he's being more aggressive, become more aggressive with the experience that he's had, and that's what he's going to have to do if he's going to stick in this league. Of course, you can't shoot 3 for 18. That's not going to get it done. That's how you find your way out of the league. But that's one thing. That's the silver lining, if anything, is that he's more assertive. He's not shy about getting shots up. Although we'll have to see also. I think he's shown a tendency to when he's playing with the better players he's playing with at whatever level, the more passive he is. But then when he's playing with with the main club, I'm sorry, no, the better players he's playing with, the more passive he is. And then when he's playing with lesser players, with the G League or maybe in summer league, then he'll be a little bit. I don't remember how he was, how assertive he was in summer league. But for sure with the G League team, he's been very assertive. But that's what he has to do, man. He has to. And of course, the reason I bring that up is because tonight, he only took 6 shots tonight, but he took 12 shots the other night. And that was when Austin played, and Ayton played, and Rui played. But like I said, the full, it's summer league, so mainly guys are just. I think Austin only played the first half, didn't he? But my point is that he has to learn to be as aggressive when he's out there in the actual games that count, where he might be on the floor with LeBron or Luka or or Austin or whatever, he can't be shy about getting his shots up. He's got to be ready. He's got to get his shots up. He's got to be aggressive and attack and play his game. He can't be out there just playing hot potato with the ball. You know, so that is one good sign. But he just continues to not shoot well. And then the other thing I was going to say is R.J. Davis. Right, R.J. Davis was he's one of the undrafted rookies out of he went to played 5 years at North Carolina. So in the first game on Friday, he was 5 of 8 for 14 points, and then tonight he had 11 points and only 2 shots. So he's 8 of 8 from the line tonight. So in 2 games overall, he's 6 of 10 from the floor, he's 2 out of 4 from 3, and he's 11 of 11 from the free throw line. He played 18 minutes in the first game, and he played 19 minutes tonight. So that's somebody who, when the Lakers signed him, I expressed my approval of the pickup because I just like the idea of whenever you can sign a kid who played for a real blue blood type program in college, I think that's a smart move. They also signed other two undrafted guys they signed were Julian Reese and Eric Dixon. So Eric Dixon went to Villanova, I think, and Julian Reese went to Maryland. That's Angel Reese's brother. And I especially like the Julian. So for Eric Dixon going to Villanova, I like that part. And then Julian Reese, he kind of reminds me of Nick Richards. But in neither game have I seen either one of their names here on this. I'm looking at the box score on ESPN, and even in the DMP coaches' decisions, they're not even listed there. So I'm guessing they're no longer they didn't make the training camp roster. So hopefully they find a way to stick around. But yeah. There's a lot of talk about DeAndre Ayton and how he played in the first game. I think he only had 1 point and 8 rebounds. He had 7 points, 7 rebounds in 21 minutes. I'm not worried about DeAndre Ayton. We just need him to be big and, get some rebounds, score some points around the basket. And we know Luka's good at feeding big men around the basket. Jake LaRavia, I saw Matthew Peralta, a one-time guest of the podcast. He said that LaRavia is he likes LaRavia. He just does a little bit of everything. He does a lot of little things out there, and I like him. I just like how he looks out there. I think I remember him more from when he was in Memphis. He can play a little bit. I just like the way he looks. He just looks like a nice, well-rounded, kind of a guy with a little bit of a underrated floor game. So hopefully he can grow and develop and take a step forward. It'd be great to see someone like him, become a double-digit scorer for us. Average 10 points a game. That would be great. We'll see if he can do it. Dalton Connect, he was 3 for 11 tonight. He had 12 points and 6 rebounds. I don't know what they're going to do with Dalton. It's just weird seeing him out there because obviously they traded him last year and then the trade got rescinded, and he's still. The last game he was 2 for 10, so on Friday. So what's that? 5 for 22 in the first 2 games. So I don't know where his head is at. I think he struggled in the preseason. I know JJ was saying that he thinks that he just did too much. I know in the preseason in the summer league, I think he said. I'm trying to remember exactly what he was saying, but yeah, hopefully he can get his head on straight. As far as Golden State goes, they lost Kevon Looney, a fan favorite, but they added Al Horford. Um, I thought it was funny that they brought back DeAnthony Melton, even though they traded him last year. And I just thought that that was kind of, that was, I mean, I mean, why would DeAnthony Melton go back there when they just traded him? Like, if they get the chance, they're going to trade him again. But yeah, man, I mean, it's a good Golden State team. You know, they played a lot of their main guys tonight. Even Kaminga played. Damn, they played damn near. Other people didn't play for them were Melton and Seth Curry. Uh, GP2 played. Buddy Hield played. Horford played. Kaminga played. Trace Davis Jackson. It was Draymond, Curry, Seth Curry, Jimmy Butler, Moses Moody, and Pajemski. It's probably a starting five. So you know the Warriors, they don't mess around, man. They're going to try to win a championship this year, and they might have won a championship last year if not for the injury to Curry in the second round. I'm still kind of surprised that Curry. I think it was the groin, right? And those groins, I don't know. I never had a groin injury, but I've always been kind of skeptical of like soft tissue injuries. I know that if you move the wrong way, but I just think that's in my mind. Once again, somebody who's never had a groin injury, I look at that as something that's more of like a mind over matter thing. But I'm probably wrong. But yeah, I was kind of surprised that he didn't try to tough that out uh, last year. Remember, Aaron Gordon played with it, you know. So it comes down to want to sometimes. Is what it is. But yeah, they'll have a chance this year coming up to. They're going to be a contender out in the West, man. All right. So transitioning to the NFL now. Um, had a bad gambling weekend betting on, uh, you know, college football, NFL, WNBA. Lost about half my units, you know, so that sucked. Um, Today I had a chance to hit a 10-timer, and I had Chick Okongwu. I needed him to go under 5 receiving targets. I thought I was safe. He had 2 entering the fourth, but he clutched up to go over and cost me a 10-timer that kind of would have salvaged the day. The Titans, they trailed 21-3 at the half and 21-6 in the fourth. Came back to win it 22-21 against the Cardinals. So, and then, you know, I was looking forward to coming on here and celebrating Sam Darnold, who was having just almost a perfect day for the Seahawks against the Buccaneers. He was 27 for 33 for 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, when he threw basically the game-losing interception late in the fourth quarter. So he ended up being 27 of 34 and tack an interception on that stat line. And, you know, it gave the Bucs great field position. All I needed was a few more yards, and they kicked the field goal to win it 38-35. So instead, I'm gonna focus on, you know, I was gonna try to focus on Sam, but instead I have to go back to what happened on Thursday night, which is, you know, the Niners were in LA to face the Rams, and they were able to win the game in OT. Mac Jones made his 3rd start for the injured Brock Purdy, who's been dealing with a toe injury. He's been in and out of the lineup. And in watching the game, what I noticed was that the play calls that the Niners and Kyle Shanahan are using with Mac Jones out there are, you know, pretty elementary. Kyle, I feel like he's dumbed down the passing game to make things easier for Mac Jones. And I think that's the reason that the Niners are 3-0 with Mac and only 1-1 with Brock Purdy. Mac has 905 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and only 1 interception in his 3 starts. While Brock Purdy in 2 starts has 4 touchdowns and and 4 interceptions. So I think the thing for Kyle to do is when Brock comes back, he needs to dumb the offense down for him the same way he's done for Mac Jones. And the Niners, who are 4-1 right now, they can really contend in the NFC. Yeah, but I think that's something that happens. You put the backup quarterback in there who you don't trust as much, and you dumb the the less you trust the quarterback and the less you believe in him, the less you think of him honestly. You kind of put the training wheels on him, right? So you give him easy reads, easy passes, something pretty much anybody could do, anybody with half a brain, basically. Uh, and then we see with somebody like Brock Purdy, who's hit the ground in the NFL running, Kyle probably feels like, well, I can do more with Brock. I can give Brock the whole playbook, and I can go deeper in the playbook with Brock. Um, and, you know, well, why not dumb down the passing game for Brock, too? You know? Uh, why not just make it easy for whoever your any team, whoever their quarterback is, they should make it as easy for them as they possibly can, right? So, I think sometimes when you have these guys who are so smart, like Kyle Shanahan, Shanahan's like, I'm a genius. Look at the stuff I can draw up. And sometimes it's better to just keep it simple, you know. Uh, so yeah, that's the observation I had watching that Niners game. You know, not that I had watched any other Niners game this year, right? But I just assumed that, and I've watched him in the past with Brock Purdy, so I just assumed, when he's in there. I mean, it was just obvious to me, just stood out, just jumped off the screen to me, that Mac Jones, when he was out there, they were they just giving him they give him easy, you know, easy passes to make, and I just figure when Brock is out there, it's a little bit harder because they feel like, well, we can do more. We can trust Brock with more to make, more reads and more throws that we can trust Mac with. But I think what they should do is they should put the training wheels back on Brock Purdy if they're ever on him in the first place. Okay, so let me go through the rest of this NFL slate. I already talked about the Niners beating the Rams. The Vikings beat the Browns in the London game. It won it right there at the end. So Carson Wentz takes the Vikings to 3-2. The Texans, they beat down on the Ravens, who were without Lamar Jackson. Cooper Rush couldn't do anything. So for the Texans now, the Ravens are 1-4. So this could be like a setback year, like a reset year for them. It happens. The Saints beat the Giants 26-14. That's the first one of the season for the Saints. Jackson Dart had 2 touchdown passes, but he also had 2 interceptions. So, I know they were getting excited in New York, especially when they were up. I think they were up like 14 to. They were up 14 to 3, weren't they? Yeah, they were up 14-3, and they didn't score again. Saints scored 23 straight points. Then you had the Broncos giving the Eagles their first loss of the season, 21-17. I thought it was fascinating. The Eagles only ran the ball 11 times today, total. Saquon had 6 carries. A.J. Dillon had 2. Jalen Hurts had 2, and Will Shipley had 1. And then they threw the ball 38 times, and they lost. It's almost like they heard, they listened to all the talk about, the passing game and how they don't, hardly pass the ball and all this stuff, and they came out with something to prove, and they lost the game. So in the other four games, Hurts had thrown 23 times, 22 times, 32 times, 24 times, and then tonight he threw 38 times. So yeah, I mean they tried to prove something today, and they lost the game. You know, the game that they were up, it was 17-10, and it was 17-3, and the Broncos won the next 18 points to win the game. Then you had the Cowboys beating the Jets 37-22. Listen, man, I told people that Dak Prescott was 18 for 29 for 237 yards and 4 touchdowns. I told people, I said, if the Cowboys had really were smart, what they really would have done is they would have traded CeeDee Lamb last year, and then just given Micah Parsons, all the money that he wanted, and just eliminated any type of confusion, and then it's no problem. And they got George Pickens. He caught a touchdown pass today. They have this kid Ryan Ferney. Oh, he's a receiver. He had 114 yards receiving. As I said, you don't need a big time 1A receiver to win in the National Football League. You don't need it. They'd be better off if they had traded CD to get some help in the interior of the defensive line, help them against the run, which is what they used Micah Parsons to get Kenny Clark for that half a sack today. If you do that, and then you still have Micah Parsons, so now you can get her against the run. You can rush the quarterback still, and you can still. You don't need CeeDee Lamb to have a flourishing offense, as we're already seeing. They scored 40 points last week and 37 points this week without CeeDee. So, it's like, what's the bet? There's nothing they can do about it now. What's next? Okay, so then the Colts beat the Raiders 40-6, and I don't know. Like I keep saying that the year one under Pete Carroll is it's a reset year, but even in Pete Carroll's reset years, I'm not used to him, just getting walloped like this, and I said up before, Geno Smith had another 2 interceptions today. I said before, they're going to need a new quarterback, as that's becoming more and more clear, and maybe once they do that, things will start to look better. Aston Gentry has looked better the last 2 weeks. But losing 40-6, I mean, Pete Carroll's the type of guy that even when he loses games, his teams are always competitive. So for them to come out here and just get smacked like that, like I said, it's not what I expect from a Pete Carroll coach team. And then now the Colts, they go to 4-1. Daniel Jones continues to play well. He had another 2 touchdown passes today. Jonathan Taylor, who's had an amazingly underrated career, 6 years in out of Wisconsin at running back, he had 3 touchdowns. Michael Pittman Jr., the Trojan alum, he caught another touchdown pass, so he has 4 touchdown passes on the season. When his career high is 6, so we're looking at Michael Pittman possibly likely having a career year, touchdowns wise. It's just amazing. I just don't know. I mean, I just don't understand how the Colts this much better just by signing Daniel Jones. It doesn't make any sense. It's like a mystery. I guess outside of, like I said, he spent that time last year with the I forgot who it was. I know I talked about it already on here about the path to rehabilitating your career. He didn't play any game. I don't remember if it was the Rams or the Niners, but one of those two teams that he went to last year to finish up last season and learn some things. Now he's playing a lot better. Then you got the Dolphins. They blew a. Let's see, what was the lead they had? It was they were up. Well, it wasn't that bad, but they were up. They were up 17-0, and they still lost. It was 27-24 to Carolina. 2 or 3 touchdown passes. Jalen Waddle caught one. Darren Waller caught one. Devon and Kane caught one. And they still couldn't win. They lost to the Panthers. So the Panthers are 2-3 now. With little Bryce Young. Good for them. I talked about the Buccaneers beating the Seahawks. And the Titans beating the Cardinals. And you have the Commanders. They came in LA and beat the Chargers 27-10. So 2 straight losses now for the Chargers. As the Commanders start to look like kind of like they did last year. The Lions have that season opening loss to the Packers have looked like probably the best team in football. They won again today in Cincinnati. They're 4-1 now. 3 touchdown passes for Jared Goff. Is this the Jared Goff MVP year? It might be. St. Brown had 8 catches for 100 yards. And Lions just continue to be a well-oiled machine. Then we had tonight the Sunday night game. It was the Patriots beating the Bills 23-20. So the Patriots go in there in Buffalo and hand the Bills their first loss of the season. Drake May, he's to his 20 out of 30, 273 yards. And Stephon Diggs, who's like, found himself now like embroiled in like hip hop, female rap, that whole I don't even know what to call it, cesspool. He's in that now, but he had 10 catches for 146 yards tonight. That's the thing about Stephon Diggs. Say what you want about him, but you can't say he's not a good football player. He didn't just massively forget how to play. So yeah, Patriots, they got a good quarterback, they got a good receiver, they got a good head coach, and things are starting to look up for them. Yeah. And then tomorrow night, it's going to be the Chiefs at the Jaguars, so that'll be a good one. I might recap that later in the week, next week. Yeah. All right. So transitioning again. P. Diddy was sentenced to 50 months, 4 years and 2 months in prison for the charge he was convicted of in his RICO case that concluded in July of this year. He was convicted of the violating the Mann Act. So just to recap, Diddy was charged with racketeering, sex trafficking, and also the Mann Act, which is transportation to engage in prostitution. And those charges carried a potential life sentence if convicted on all counts. And in July, Diddy was acquitted of the most serious charge, which was the one count of racketeering and the 2 counts of sex trafficking. But he was convicted on the 2 counts of the transportation to engage in prostitution, also known as the Mann Act. And each count carried a maximum of 10 years in prison. And so on October 3rd, though, U.S. District Judge Aaron Subramanian sentenced Diddy to 15 months in federal prison, plus 5 years of supervised release, a $500,000 fine, and forfeiture of property used in the offenses. The prosecution sought over 11 years in sentencing, while the defense requested 14 months or less. And this is what the judge had to say in his ruling. He says a 7-week trial commenced on May 12, 2025. Notably, at trial, the defendant did not meaningfully dispute the government's evidence of his brutal violence. The defense repeatedly conceded the defendant's horrific abuse, along with other criminal activity such as drug use and distribution. As described below, the trial evidence included 1. The testimony of Ventura, who was in a relationship with the defendant for approximately 11 years, during which time she experienced both brutal physical and psychological abuse at the hands of the defendant and engaged in freak-offs at times on a weekly basis. 2. The testimony of Jane Doe. This is, I forget her name, the Asian woman who had the baby by 50 Cent. The testimony of Jane, who was in a relationship with the defendant from approximately 2021 through the defendant's arrest, and engaged in frequent hotel nights with the defendant, and also experienced violence and manipulation at the hands of the defendant, including after the defendant knew that he was under investigation for sex trafficking. The testimony of multiple other individuals. 3. The testimony of multiple other individuals who experienced violence at the hands of the defendant. And 4. Testimony of former employees who were responsible for setting up freak-offs at hotel nights, including by delivering thousands of dollars to the defendant so he could pay commercial sex workers and procuring drugs at the defendant's behest. 5. The testimony of an expert psychologist, Dr. Dawn Hughes, regarding victim responses to abuse. 6. Text messages, emails, phone records, photos, videos, and audio recordings, among other records. And 7. Physical evidence, including drugs and firearms, recovered from the defendant's residences. The thing I don't like about this verdict is that basically I feel like the judge used evidence or things that were said during trial or confirmed during trial or whatever, that basically that Diddy was not he was not even charged with that, right? So what he was charged with, which is the RICO and also the Mann Act, and also the other one, the sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. That was not he was only convicted of the Mann Act, and that was the least serious of the charges. So why did the judge have to use other stuff that was used at trial against Diddy for basically charges that he was acquitted of, but the judge still used that evidence against him in the sentencing, which I think is ridiculous. Some people thought that he got off easy. Some people like me thought that he got a raw deal still. Of course, it could have been worse. He could have gotten, 20 years. He didn't. He got 50 months. Of course, it'll be time served, which is, I don't know if it's 9, 10, 11 months. What it's been at this point. If he does 85%, that cuts it down to 3 years or so, 3+ years. There's 85% of that. And then whatever else, like Alvis said, good behavior. Let's say he's home in a few years. I mean, it could have been worse, but I think he should. Yeah, the defense wanted 14 months or less. I think that's what it should have been. I think he should pretty much be coming home now, bro. They didn't have anything on him. They lost. That's the same thing they did to OJ though. Was they got him that second time for trying to take his own stuff back. And did you know that the sentencing date, October 3rd, that was 30 years since the verdict on the OJ trial. And I think when OJ got paroled, or when he was sentenced for that, I don't remember. For the thing where he tried to take his own stuff back, it was some type of thing. It was like some symmetry with the dates, with the date also. I don't know if it was for his sentencing. I think it was for his sentencing. I forget what it was. But yeah, man, they play right in our faces sometimes, man. But yeah, if it's say on the wire, you only do 2 days. The day you go in, the day you go out. And you'll be out soon enough, bro, and you'll be able to resume your life. They didn't get you, Diddy. They didn't get you, brother. All right, and then so last but not least, just right here at the end, I wanted to say something about this streaming war that's going on right now between Jay Cinco and DDG. DDG's Capaholics, they had their Content Mansion kickoff party this week. And in the lead up, people wondered where Jay Cinco was. Of course, Jay Cinco and DDG once appeared to be close, famously streaming together in Rome with India Love and Lala. And that was the first time I ever saw Jay Cinco was when DDG was bringing him around. When they would have Lala and Seven in the house or whatever. They do the content with the females. That's DDG's his specialty. All the streamers do that, but DDG is probably the one who's most known for it. And you bring Jay Cinco around. Of course, they do the Dirty Mac and bits and whatnot. It's good entertainment. And then you can never really tell what part of this stuff is content and what of it is like real. And sometimes it's like both. I think. And so, but basically, DDG, whatever he was doing on camera with India Love, they're not together. But it appears that Jay Cinco and Lala, they're in an actual relationship now, which is weird because we know that Lala had, she had history with DDG before she even met Jay Cinco. At least that's how it appeared on camera. And so for Jay Cinco to basically, backdoor DDG and take his leftovers, I don't think that was right. And there's just a lot of stuff that went on, it's so much drama the last couple of days, them just going back and forth. And basically, they had Cinco saying that after the DDG would talk down to people and talking hit below the belt and stuff like that. And, DDG got on there, he defended himself. He showed the text that, showed this text that Cinco sent, because, DDG went on when Kai was doing the Mafia-thon 3. DDG went on there. Obviously, DDG and Reggie, they had their little back and forth a couple months ago. And they went on there and they basically pieced it up into this little freestyle battle. And, Reggie snuck a little barb in there about DDG, telling him to go see his son. And DDG on his stream, while he was addressing the Jay Cinco situation, he showed a text or a message where Jay Cinco was said, I would have said, F Reggie's dead dad, just for cats to be on stream, fake battling each other at Mafia-thon, Time 3. And DDG made it seem like basically that Cinco was, talking bad about Reggie's dad when he was just in Reggie's face or whatever at Mafia Time 3. But it didn't seem like that's what it was. It seemed like more because at the time when they were beefing, Cinco didn't pick a side, even though DDG was supposed to be, his guy. And I think that's what Cinco was really saying, is that basically that's why it's a guard. Like, good thing he stayed out of it, because he would have said some crazy stuff about Reggie just for DDG and Reggie to get on the stream piecing it up and being silly like it never happened, basically. Now I learned that Jay Cinco is from Watts. He's born in Watts, grew up in Compton, so he's from LA. So I have to give him, I have to show him, some loyalty or some love just for that, because we're from this, the same city, Los Angeles. But outside of that, man, I don't really like what I've seen from this. Like I said, I feel like he snaked DDG for Lala. And he said, I saw today that he said that he's done with DDG. And I feel like I would have to say that, bro. It seems like I really feel like all this stuff, all this complaining about this and that DDG did, that I really feel like Cinco just used DDG to get on. And now that he's on, he feel like, well, I don't need a DDG anymore. I can be solo and do my own thing. I got the girl, and now I can do my own thing. And I don't need the DDG. I don't need the Capaholics, which I think obviously. It kind of reminds me when Young Thug was saying about Gunna, that Gunna will do the thing basically that's like, I don't remember his exact words, but basically the thing that's the self-preservation move instead of the thing that you're supposed to do as a man of like honor, and that's what Jay Cinco reminds me of. All in all, I think the Capaholics, they should be fine without Jay Cinco. They have DDG, they have Dub, they have Deshae Frost, so they'll be able to hold it down. But he will be missed because, if he's in there, that's four heavy hitters. Now how do the Capaholics stack up against other concert houses? Obviously, the Clover Boys are first. Kai and Ty Lil and Reggie and Ray and Rakai. But then I would say the Capaholics, they can surpass AMP. Which is the OG group. Another AMP, I think they traded Agent for one of the guys in FaZe. I don't know that much about FaZe, kind of the sidemen. I mainly know about the Clover Boys, the AMP, and now the Capaholics. I would say the Clover Boys are first, and I would say that the Capaholics, they could slide into that number 2 slot. This is my second straight week talking about these young kids streaming as a 37-year-old man. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end tonight's episode by saying, before I get out of here, just a reminder to hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network, and to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can also send feedback and mailback questions to Complete Lakers Podcast at gmail.com. I am out.